This was originally an armoire or a wardrobe in India, and it would have been used for storing clothes. We've used it as a larder cupboard, basically. It's got 3 shelves in it, and we've just pushed everything in. Everything that we need on a day-to-day basis is in here. But what we've not done also is to just try and cram as many of these cupboards and many of these storage items into the kitchen as possible. So we've really kind of placed them quite strategically. There's one on that side of the kitchen, there's one here, and there's several more that are over there. You don't feel as though you're being encroached by these large cupboards. If you are planning your kitchen, one of the most important areas is going to be your sink area. This top here was an old lab table top that came out of a school down in the lakes in Cumbria. Down here, these are shuttered windows. So there are 3 shuttered windows, 1, 2, which is a double unit here, and then a third one that's in the same style as the first one over there. We've really used as much of the space as we can, which is absolutely critical in a kitchen. Behind here, we discovered an old cupboard. So we basically shelved it with some old wood, and we use it for storing cookery books. The children have their little pens and their little stationery. That's kept here. It's not usually as tidy as this. That's been tidied up this morning. If you don't want to have vintage cupboards on the lower section, what you could do is to have a series of these old cabinets, glass cabinets, with double doors. So if you feel that you really do need to have your lower storage, but you'd like to have something with a little bit more character and a little bit more unique above, then these glass fronted cupboards are perfect. And it really does allow you to kind of display some of the things that add a little bit more character. I've got old Indian tea tins and an old Bisto tin up there, and then obviously the mugs and the pots of coffee and everything else. And that all adds to the character and the charm of the kitchen, rather than perhaps hiding it away behind some cupboard doors. Just open it up and let everything be seen. One of the things that I spotted in one of our suppliers in Edinburgh was this old barrow. So it seemed to be a cross between a barrow for carrying sacks and some kind of a weighing scale. It looked absolutely amazing. So it's got a real industrial touch to it as well. And it's made of elm, which is a different wood to some of the other woods that are here in the kitchen. It just adds a little bit more character to the kitchen. It makes sense to have a barrow that would have been used for carrying grains and rices and sacks of potato. And we've just displayed it, but it allows us to also use these surfaces as well. So I've got this here. It's an old spice box, for example, that I've collected. I brought in lots of kind of local character to the kitchen that we have here. So we have pieces from India, and we have jam jars, and we have sack barrows from Edinburgh, and we have a French dining table. So it's a real mix of kind of little bits and little elements that just kind of make this kitchen really unique to Emma and I. If you're looking to create a vintage kitchen, it makes sense to just have a little bit, think about what you want the kitchen to do for you. Is it going to be a work area, an area for the children to come and do artwork? Are you going to be eating? Are you going to be preparing food? And then just thinking about some of the main things that you must have in the kitchen: the sink, the cooker, the table, the large kind of storage cupboards. And then, right, how will I get additional storage? Then you might use smaller cupboards, smaller drawers, tins that can sit on top of all of those types of items. The advantage of a freestanding kitchen is that you can just move things around. If we didn't like that cupboard, we could move it somewhere else, or we could try it out and exchange it for another cupboard. If you don't quite like something, you can change it around, move it around, and it's always growing, it's always evolving. Our kitchen was not like this when we set it up. It was very, very different. But over time, we've added pieces, taken pieces away, and it's just kind of, it's constantly evolving really into what we have now. And in a year's time, it'll be different again. Enjoy your kitchen. If you need any help and advice, come and speak to us here at Scaramanga.